16th of Nullic 2023, 16th of December 2023. Regarding the Gardaí, is it a good idea to have one force for the entire country, for the 26 counties? Is that a good idea? Look at the trouble there was with commissioners down through the years. Several were sacked. I mean, Paddy McLaughlin was sacked, Ned Garvey was sacked, and then what do you call him, Martin Callanan, and Maureen or O'Sullivan, was it Maureen O'Sullivan, I think it was. She had to go as well, and they eventually had to bring in a commissioner from outside, and they have two commissioners, senior ranking commissioners too. And what's wrong is they can't get anyone fit for the job who understands policing, who studies policing, who has a book on policing, and they can't get anyone who's fit to do the job because the lads at the top are keeping down, they're so ignorant that they're keeping down anyone that has a bit of talent. So if you got a young person that joined the Guards, now a man or a woman, say you got a young man there, and he does all the courses and he does policing and he becomes a policeman, they might make him sergeant, they might say he's doing a good job, they'll want him out on the road, issuing tickets as much as he can, summonses and all that, thousands and thousands of them, and then they might make him a sergeant. And when he gets to be a sergeant, he'll be running a unit and there'll be crimes happening. He'll be trying to keep the lid on the pot. And if it comes to be inspector, they won't give it to him. They'll give it to one of their own. All the supers and chief superintendents, sons, all get promoted. If they look for promoted, they get it. So the thing means that this lad, who's very fit to be commissioner, might be very good at the job, cannot get up. When Drew Harris put himself forward, he had a certain amount of this policing knowledge. I'm not saying he's a good commissioner because he's woke, but he had a certain amount of understanding of policing in England and all of the rest. And there's a school of thought of that as well in America as well. But those people, the people who understand the logistics of running a police force, how to run it, it's not all about parking tickets and all. It's not all about community policing. It's about delivering the job of a policeman, and there really is nobody there, and the system is stacked against anyone getting up. So I'm inclined to think that the answer to this would be split the country up, perhaps into North Leinster and Ulster, Connacht, Munster, and South Leinster, and Dublin. That would be the way I'd be inclined to do it, and split it up and have a commissioner for each region, because the present system is not working. There's no crime being investigated. It's only when there's a murder or something that there's crime being investigated, and it's very demoralising. And now they can't get people to join, because why would anyone join? Why would any educated person join when you're not going to get fair crack of the whip, and when you're going to be up against pull, nepotism, ministers ringing up to promote appointments and jobs and everything else, and the strangest schemes brought out. And when they get a new commissioner or a new chief superintendent or a new something in an area, they immediately set about destroying everything that was there before, because they want to be able to go up for promotion and say, oh, when I took over it was shambles, and then I changed the whole thing and all of that, and now they're changing the whole divisions around. It's in the paper today. So they want to change just to show they changed, and there's nobody with the gumption to say no, the system's all right, you go and do your job. How many crimes did you get solved last year? Oh, none. Oh, well, why, you know what, that's the problem. It's not the organisation of the force. Years ago, they brought out performance development and review, which set the Garda a certain amount of targets. Didn't apply to the very high ranks. Set the guard to the very high targets, number of targets. And if that guard, let's say, was in an area and the targets were to get 3 drunk drivers, and we'd say 4 no insurance offences, and raid 2 pubs for after hours, and if a murder happened the next day, he would be on the murder investigation, and he couldn't achieve any of these goals. So it assumed that the person setting the targets knew what was going to happen in that guard's area. It was ridiculous. It eventually had to be let go, and they spent millions on it. The other thing they had was job rotation. So the sergeant in a station could only stay 3 years. If they're on the traffic court, they could only stay 3 years. And if they're a detective after 5 years, they had to go back to being on the beat. And some people then said, well, why would I apply to be a detective when I'm going to be shifted back? I might as well stay where I am. And the motivation was cut. That was let drop again, and there was no accountability. No accountability. I think it was Pat Byrne, the commissioner. He was never fined or challenged at all for bringing in all these failed schemes that had to be let drop. It's a shambles, an unbelievable shambles, and it would take a good deal of common sense to do it. And I can tell you, our present Minister for Justice, with all due respects to Helen McEntee, wouldn't even have a clue where to start. How could she? How could a knobber girl going to school 10 years ago and going to school know about the intricacies of policing a modern country, or know anything about the law or anything else? It's a recipe for disaster, and all I'm saying is I'm giving a few ideas. There has to be some method. If we ever get our hands on the levers of power, we've got to find a way to get good people running our police service. That's very, very important, and people who know what they're talking about. And it could be that you might have to go down to a station. Could be down somewhere down in Tipperary, or could be in Mayo, or could be in Donegal, and you may have to say to a sergeant there, let's get 10 of you and hear what you have to say, and maybe let one of them become commissioner. That's what you might have to do, because there's no way the present phobies who hold the rank of assistant commissioner or deputy commissioner are in at the races at all. It is ridiculous to bring somebody from Canada and put them in those high-ranking jobs, and it's an insult to the existing members, and it's a proof that the promotion system doesn't work, and as it's designed by government, it's a proof that government doesn't work. We need to get back to the idea of good, solid, conservative policies, and policing is one of the more important ones, along with other things as well. So folks, give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. We'll see you back for something soon.